Welcome to the final video in the Fretboard Mastery mini-series. This is going to be the big unload of information, the big download for more advanced players who want to take this to higher and higher levels. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the details of this stuff, but just to give you ideas of what the next steps would be. It should be pretty straightforward because everything's going to build on the foundation of what we have already established. The first place to go is fives. So if we were to be playing in, say, F sharp, which I don't think we've explored yet, playing fives from the first position, just trying to cover all of the strings, you would play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be your pattern. And you can do this in order, going all the way through all 5, or you can split it so that you're jumping. That kind of a thing. That's great to do both, but for this I'm just going to stick with doing it in order, because doing it in order, in addition to having the sound of the 5, it also gives us a really weird timing kind of split, interesting rhythm, because a lot of times when you do this, you're going to be putting your 5 on the beat. So you fit the span of 5 notes into an even space, which is one beat. You know, you have, or whatever your division is going to be, no matter how you cut it, either you're playing odd over even, or even if you play the 5 on the beat, where you land is going to move each time. So, like for instance, if I was playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, right? It really goofs with your head because you're starting your pattern of 5 in a different place every time, and it moves around a number of times before you cycle back to where you started again. It's a good brain teaser trick, good thing to try and work your way through. But if you were to also play on a slower tempo, you try and fit the 5 in there. It's been a long time since I've done this, so it might be kind of messy, but let's try it so you can see what that might sound like. So if we're at this tempo, this is 65 BPMs, we can think of what our 16th notes would be, and that would be a 4 on each click, right? So 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, that kind of thing. Da 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 da. And then all you do for 5s is you just shift it all over a little bit so you got room for one more evenly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The trick is getting it to the point where it feels even. Like I wasn't feeling like I was really on the timing until the last time around there. But that's the idea, is that you're just shrinking it all, and it's weird because you're putting odd over what is normally an even division. 16th notes, 8th notes, no problem. You're just splitting things in half. But with 5, that all goes out the window. But if you're just going to play it normally with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in order, and you move through the different notes in the scale, for instance, the actual tone pattern is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that kind of a thing as you move through. But what you got to feel is the jump from the 5 back to the 1. It pushes in a place that we're not normally used to. So if I play through it, you start working your way out of what you can reach in the single position. But as you start getting comfortable with that speed, it has a cool pattern to it. It's very unconventional, and I've yet to hear an ukulele player who really plays with that sort of division, but it's something that you could possibly pioneer if you worked your way through this and got really comfortable with playing that. So there's that. You can also then do the split 5s like I was saying, and then there's 6s, which is the same exact idea. You're just going up the scale 6 notes at a time. So your patterns become longer and longer and longer the more notes that you add. This one's a little bit more normal to feel because 6 is somewhat familiar territory. and then we're moving out of the position again. That would be your 6s. You do them up and down, and then you can split them if you like. I've heard of folks doing 7 on guitar. Why not try it for ukulele? There's also 9s. 8s aren't that interesting because that becomes then whatever the next note division is, and then you're just playing an entire scale from each. You'd be like playing your way through the entire sequence of modes. But 7s would probably be where most normal advanced players would say, like, that's good. I don't need to know beyond that. I don't see like playing, because the idea of the scales and playing with the sequences is that you're breaking up chunks of music. You're breaking the scale into more musical chunks by making those jumps. But as soon as you start playing, 8 notes, you're just playing a whole scale. So you're kind of going back to where you started and what you were trying to get away from in the very first place. So 5, 6, 7 are quite advanced and should be enough challenge for just about anybody and keep you busy for a very, very, very long time. The very last thing that I'll leave you with, in case you are feeling bored and unstimulated by playing it in 7s, you've done that in all keys and all positions, and it's no big deal. Good for you. But the next step would be to sequence any set of notes. It doesn't have to be a straight 1, 2, 3. It could be, if we're going back to our open C major scale, you could pick a sequence out of those notes. You could go 1, 2, 4. Just say 1, 2, 4, and that's your pattern. And you'd be playing in 3s, but now you're jumping in a different way. The 3 notes that you're playing are not actually in order. So 1, 2, 4. The next one would be 2, 3, 5, and then 3, 4, 6. Right? So you're creating a pattern that is outside of the ordered conventions even further. And by doing this, you're really challenging your expectations of what a scale is within your mind and within your fingers. So once you really feel like you need more material or you want to do something different outside of the box, create a sequence for yourself that jumps throughout the scale. And this can be as complicated or as simple as you like. Once again, odds are going to be more challenging. So if you were to do sometimes what I think about is, okay, maybe I'm not playing in position, but if I'm playing up and down one string, I could play say I was in D, I could play 3 notes on one string and then 2 notes on another string. Maybe that's my sequence. And all of a sudden, that becomes very melodic. I'm taking the contents of the scale, but I'm moving it through things that are very melody-like, phrases that are very melody-like. So that is one approach, something that you can do to really give yourself endless material to practice. But really, if you work through the contents of all of these videos, and you play 3s and 4s and 5s, maybe 6s and 7s, and you do it in every single key, all the way up and down the fretboard using positions, and you do it consistently. It's not just something that you work through, but it's something that you're like comfortable doing, and you can do it at a brisker tempo. You're gonna be an expert musician. That's just your technical ability that goes along with that is going to be at a very, very, very high level. So if you want to be really good on the ukulele, if you want to shred, if you want to play fast and really understand the fretboard, this is how I would do it. As always, we could all practice this stuff more and become better and better at it. I should practice this stuff more, but I don't necessarily. But when I do practice, this is the kind of thing I work on. And I feel like this is what really kind of knocks the cobwebs out if I feel like my chops are down, by playing through this even just a little bit, sitting down for 15 minutes and working through this, by the end of that, I'm feeling like I'm much more connected to the instrument, and I can play a lot easier the thoughts and ideas that are in my head, and typically faster. So take that as you will. Consult the practice routine if you're not sure how you would approach breaking this down. And I wish you all of the success. Please feel free to share with your friends or your ukulele club. Send them to liveukulele.com/fretboard so they can register and get the handouts and the downloads. And I will see you around on liveukulele.com and YouTube and the Live Ukulele podcast. Hope to be in touch, and I will see you sometime. Aloha.